Did you all have some fun today? Yes? Did everybody laugh at least once? Okay, great. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our final speaker today. Please help me give a warm welcome to Michael Chen. He's a longtime supporter of the AABDC. He's also a co-chair of today's event, and he is the general partner and CEO of Chen and Associates.
Well, first of all, we got to give a hand to Sapna Parikh. Give her a big hand for being a great moderator today, right? And thank you to NYU, right, for hosting this. And what a great place to host it. How was the food, the hospitality? Wasn't it wonderful there? Let's give them a hand as well for NYU. And this wouldn't have happened, too, without our sponsors, right? I won't name them all, but look at the sponsors over there. This event is happening because of the sponsors that support the Asian American AABDC. Let's give a hand to our sponsors. All our speakers who took their time to give an interesting dialogue today, give them a hand as well. And then, of course, also to John, ABC, and all the people that helped him, Scott and Jen and everybody else. Give them a hand as well. All right, we're going to have some fun for the next 15 minutes. I want to give away some money. I'm inspired to give away some money, okay? So I'm really going to give away some money. Well, not to you, but to your charity, okay? But it's going to be a quiz, like Asian Americans, unconscious bias, you like tests, okay? So I'm going to give you some tests, all right? There's going to be 3 tests, and I'm going to go through them pretty quickly, all right? So one of the sessions was on innovation, diversity, the power of 5. By the way, you don't get money for this one, but do you know what 5 means in the power of 5? What was the 5 about? Without looking at the notes, without looking at your iPhone, this has to be honor and memorization. What does 5 stand for? Raise your hand if you know. Right there. Generations, great. Okay, now here's where the money comes in. 5 generations, right? So we know about the baby boomer generation. I'm a baby boomer, right? We know about Gen X. We know about the millennials. We know about Gen Z. What's the 5th generation we're talking about here? Right there. First hand up. Yes. All right. So $100 to your charity. I'll come up afterwards. Give her a hand. Of your choice. Very good. Aha, but there's a 6th generation. It's the one that's coming after Gen Z. Who knows what that generation's called? Ha, over there, that guy right there. Gen Alpha, he gets $100 to his favorite charity. What's his name? Are you a Gen Alpha? Okay, good. You got to be pretty young to be a Gen Alpha, just so you know. You got to probably be under the age of 13 or less. So I don't think there's any Gen Alphas here. But as you think about it, we always think about the future. You got to be ready for Gen Alpha because that's going to be the next buzzword in the next generation that's coming. So far, I've got $200 given away. I'll give away some money more later. But I'll talk a little bit about my life quickly in a Cliff Note way. I wasn't very smart. Most Asian Americans like you're really smart. You're brilliant. I wasn't actually very smart. My sister, she got all the brains in the family. I'm kind of pissed off at her. She went to Princeton, Harvard, and got all the brains. The only thing that I got given to me was the gift of gab, all right? So I have to take advantage of the gift of gab. But, I couldn't read books when I was young. I just couldn't study. I always fell asleep. I love sports. I fell asleep. But there's a miracle happened. This thing called Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes happened. I said, gosh, I can do well in school without studying. I just got to read the Cliff Notes and then raise my hand and answer a couple questions. The professor thinks I read the book. And that's what I did. So for all of you who haven't had a chance to listen to all the speakers, who was either networking or came in late or was on your iPhone, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of what happened today. How's that, right? So you can summarize and you pretend like you've been here the whole day. So we started with JiaBin Huang, from ex-president Elizabeth Arden. By the way, I'll give another $100 if you know where she's going next. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Let's keep her secret, right? This is among all of us. But she's going to go to another exciting job. But what she said that was impactful, I'm going to just quote some of the quotes that's been really impactful. She said, if you don't intentionally include someone, you are intentionally excluding them. That's a very powerful message about diversity and inclusion. Diversity of thought and inclusion of people. Make sure you take the effort when you're a leader to include diverse people, Asian Americans, other diverse people, different genders, sexual orientation, veterans, age, generation, and of course, also Asian Americans. Take them with you, all right? Take them with you. You'll be a better leader for that. Tom Needs at Morgan Stanley, he said, it is pretty easy to gain knowledge by surfing the internet, looking at Wikipedia, but you can't develop soft skills that way. You can't develop soft skills on the internet. He also said the attention span of Gen Z and millennials are 8 seconds. Think about those two things. You can't develop soft skills on the internet, and you have the attention span of 8 seconds. So one of the challenges, how do we develop these soft skills and communicate to the next generation in 8 seconds or less? Hold that thought while I come back to it. Indra Nui, wow, was she amazing. Mahmood Khan, huh? There's so many quotes. I took like 5 or 6, and I said, I give up. I can't quote everything she says, all right? But I'll quote 3 of hers that I love. One she said is, make sure the moral code of your life is consistent with the moral code of your livelihood. Wow, that's a powerful statement. What it says is, if you really want to be great, you have to be good first. These days, you can't be great without being good, because if you're not good, you'll be found out as a fraud. So the first thing you got to do is be good. And in my job, I've interviewed over 300 people. I don't look for great people. I look for people that are good. Good to the core with integrity, honesty, reliability, people that want to be part of the team, people that want to be part of the culture, people that want to make a difference in this world. So that was a very powerful statement from Indra Nui. The second thing she said was, when she said a bad presentation, I love this. I've never used this, but I might use this now. She said, a trained monkey can write a better deck. Holy cow, that's powerful, isn't it? If you gave a presentation to the CEO and the CEO said a trained monkey can write a better deck, I would be like, I won't say, I'll be like running to the bathroom, I think I'll be doing that. But she also said that right after she said that, she said, now come in here and let me help you write a better deck. Wow. What it shows is she's going to be honest and genuine and help you. Okay, tell you that you did a bad job, but I'm on your side. I'm going to help you be better. How motivating is that to someone tell you didn't do that great, but I'm on your side and I'm going to make you a better person, a better employee, and just a better, generally expert at whatever you do. That is so powerful. And I think that's another statement you should remember. And then finally, she said, in many Asian families, men or women are treated equally. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Men and women are treated equally in many Asian families. So I look at my own family, I'm like, oh, that's not happening in my family. We're not treated equally. I've got 4 boys, myself, and my wife is the queen of my family. She is the most important thing in my life, and she's the center of my universe. We better not treat her equally. We better treat her a lot better than we treat ourselves. And I think about what she went through. She was an executive at GE. She had 4 kids. She bore 4 kids. My parents lived with us. She took care of my parents. She took care of the household. In the meantime, she had a busy job at GE Capital. I'm like, oh my goodness, I will never be as good as her, I will never, ever be as good as her. And then I think about the people and the women in this room. And I think about all of you and what the challenges you might be facing. Balancing, your career with your significant other, with maybe managing a household, maybe managing elderly parents, maybe managing kids. Wow, I just want to give a hand to all the women in this room, because women are powerful, right? Let's give a hand to the women. And double challenge of being an Asian American woman, my goodness, that is incredible. So I am a big fan of women, and especially Asian American women. Now, I've been married 32 years, right? And one of the things I learned is if you make the most important person in your life the center of the universe, you'll be successful. And I've been 30 years successful in my marriage. And thank goodness, I hope it's another 30 years. But I've been fortunate to have her. But what I realized, one thing I learned is if you make the important people in your life and your career the center of the universe, you'll be successful. Now that I have my own business, I make my clients the most important people in my business world. I don't care if I get a call on a Saturday night. I got a call one day, Christmas Eve 2 years ago. I interrupted dinner to take the client call. My boss, when I was working at GE and NBC Universal, I made my boss's career more important than mine. And it's amazing to think about it. If you make that person more important than you make your boss's career more important than you make your client's time more important than yours, you make your significant other's priorities and needs more important than yours, it's amazing how many times back it comes to you. That's the one thing I really learned. Okay, here comes another $100. Okay, Warren Buffett, like Indra Nui is amazing. Warren Buffett is another person I learned from. He says, I found out the secret to a successful relationship with a significant other or a spouse. Look for this one quality in a person. Do you know what that one quality is? If you get that one quality right, $100 to your charity. What is the one quality you should look for in your significant other or your spouse to have a long, successful relationship? Good try, but not $100. This one's going to be tougher. This is the hardest 100. You know what? I'm going to give $200 for the answer to this one. Back there. Trust, close, but no cigar. Right here. Honesty, great question, answer, but nope. Sense of humor, nope. Respect, nope. Nope. Compromise, nope. Integrity, nope. Patience, nope. What is it? Generosity, nope. Loyalty, nope. Compassion, nope. I'll give 8 more guesses, and that's it. Humility, nope. Friendship, no. What's that? Say thank you, nope. 4 more. Giving, nope. 3. What's that? Nope. What? Competent? Nope. Back, way back. What? What is it? Peace? Nope. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. Compatible? Okay. I guess nobody heard Warren Buffett speak, all right? I'll tell you where I heard this. I was in a GE executive leader of 250 GE executive leaders. He's doing a fireside chat with Jeff Immelt, the chairman then. And Jeff is trying to ask him all the questions about how do you become successful in business. And he said 2 things. He said one thing in business, and then he gave this answer. He goes, I'll tell you how to be successful in business, Jeff. Do 2 things. One is overpay your people. Because if you overpay your people, they will never think about leaving. They'll focus on how they earn your trust and prove that they're worth every dime you give it. And Jeff goes, we're like, yeah, pay us more. And Jeff's like, nah, not happening. And he goes, the second thing is don't ask for any presentation from your people that they wouldn't do for themselves. I'm like, yeah, thank the corporate presentation. I'm sick of it. Let's not do it. Jeff goes, no, sorry, you guys got to do that. Then Warren goes, oh, sorry, Jeff, if you're not going to listen to what I'm saying, I'm going to go and tell people about life's advice. And then he gave this question about, what is the secret to a successful relationship? You know what he said? Find a spouse or significant other with low expectations. Low expectations. And so I said, let me try this on my spouse. Let me try this on my wife. I've been going to all these business dinners, and she gets mad at me because, I tell her I'll be home by 9 o'clock, and we're having such a great time talking. I'm home at 11 o'clock, and she's always mad at me, right? So now every time I go to dinner, what time I'll be home? I'll be home at 11 o'clock. Jeanette, I'll be home at 11, don't worry. Sometimes dinner ends at 9. I come home at 9 o'clock. She goes, oh, you're home early. I'm like, yeah, I'm home early. That's why. And she's always happy. She's never mad at me because I set her expectation I'll be home at 11 o'clock after a business dinner every night. And I always beat it now. So low expectations, what Warren Buffett said. Anyway, side diversion. Sorry about that. But maybe I'll get another question later for another $100. All right. So Pepsi, I loved. Coca-Cola, I love. Is Lisa Chang here still, or she left? All right. Well, I love Coca-Cola just as much with refresh the world, make a difference. Wow. That's a great tagline, isn't it? Refresh the world, make a difference. It's not about the taste anymore. It's about changing the world. And that made a big impact. She said, as a leader, don't be too preachy. Keep learning, be a listener, show them that you are authentic and transparent, right? That's what Indra did, being authentic and transparent by telling them they didn't do a good job, but then also showing them that they really care about them. Then the power of 5, diversity and innovation, right? I think Pamela Lip Hendricks, she was talking about how an expert used to be, you got to get a PhD to be an expert. And now you just got to watch a YouTube video for about a minute and you're an expert at that subject, right? It's probably pretty true. Everyone thinks they're an expert these days, And Yao Chang at BNY Mellon, they talk about watch out for unconscious bias. Being a subject-level expert is not good enough. And I agree with that. Everyone can think they're a subject-level expert today. You've got to develop the soft skills to be a leader for tomorrow. Clayton Banks, he was here from Silicon Harlem. Is he still here? No, he was here. But I love seeing him because he went to China on a trip with John Wong and me, and an African-American who wanted to learn about the culture of Asia and about China. Was very impressive. And he asked a question about what are you going to do about unconscious bias with AI robots, artificial intelligent robots? I'm like, wow, this guy is thinking ahead of us. He's thinking about the day when there'll be robots next to us, and how do you prevent bias with robots? I haven't thought about it, but that could happen. If the people programming the robots are white males, I think there's going to be some unconscious bias. So some of you guys out there, please go and become AI experts, all right? And program those robots to have diversity in them, all right? That's the thing I learned from him. All right, then we moved on to the ERG breakout sessions. I was only able to stay for one, so unfortunately I can't summarize the other two, but I'm sure they were all wonderful. The one I stayed for that Kathleen Navarro said it, and New York Life said, she wants men at women ERG meetings. Wow, that's very interesting. Want men at women ERG meetings. And she said, progress can't be made if men weren't there to understand the issues and challenges that women face. That is very powerful. Progress can't be made if men weren't there to understand the issues and challenges that women face. I'm looking at this room. Can progress be made with Asian Americans if we're only speaking to Asian Americans? I look across this room, I said, we've got some work to do. We've got to get more non-Asian Americans in this room to understand the issues and challenges the Asian American faces. So at the end of the session, I have a challenge for you. And one of the challenges I have is to make sure the next time you go to an Asian American event like this, next time we hold something like that, bring a non-Asian American. I challenge you to bring a non-Asian American. Make a difference by bringing someone that's it might be out of your comfort zone to bring someone, but like Ann said, step out of your comfort zone. Do something that you fear every day. Next time, bring a non-Asian American here, right? That would be a bold step forward. So that was great by Kathleen. Then the fireside chat by Raj and Seema. Modesty, but fearless. I think that's great. Let me show humility, but have inner confidence. Show outward humility, but have inner confidence in being bold and taking risk. There was a question that came out, it was a great question about how do you get up in the corporate world if you don't self-promote? I would just say one thing I think about. Yeah, we don't want to self-promote. That's not Asian Americans. But you need to be visible. There's a key thing. You need to be visible. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you need to be visible. How do you become visible? You be visible by promoting and recognizing others. Promote and recognize others. Stand up for others. Be seen and heard. Don't promote yourself. Promote others. And I guarantee you, people will recognize you 10 times over for recognizing, promoting, and standing up for your team. Finally, number 8, the last one, which Kim Lee and Ann Lim O'Brien just finished, among others. They talked about the unwritten rules Kim Lee talked about. That's a great one. I used to have the rules. I worked at IBM at first. You worked at IBM, after a few more years, you wore the blue suit, the red tie, the white shirt, and you follow and you get promoted, right? Then I worked at GE, and they told me about the unwritten rules, right? Like, well, that's not how it works, You kind of got a network, you have to do this and that. You know what's interesting today? I was just thinking about it as you were speaking about that, Ann. You don't follow the unwritten rules, because today is like the wild west. There are no rules. Make the rules. Be the leader and make up your own rules. If you think about it, I was at NBC Universal, right? And back then there was ABC, NBC, CBS. You want to be in the media, you got to find a great story. And if you were in the unwritten rules, you networked and you got to know some of the moderators and you got your story told. Today, you don't care about ABC, NBC, and CBS, I hate to say, even though that was a company I worked for. You want to get noticed, you create your own blog. My wife decided that she wanted to create a food blog on healthy foods and share with everyone else. She didn't go to any network. She created her own blog, put recipes on the site, share with others. She ended up having 1 million followers on doing healthy recipes. And she did it because she wanted to help others. All these other of you have started blogs, started your own companies, promoting stuff. I think these days, there's no unwritten rules. Create new rules. It's the wild west. If you want to be a leader, create your own rules, I think is the one thing I learned. So it was a great thing. And like Ann said, do something fearful every day. I think that's a great thing, Step out of your comfort zone. Well, those were the 8. So those are the cliff notes, but I want to finish with my own kind of things that I have kind of thought about that have helped me in my career. I worked at GE. I was a CEO in a business at GE. and I was a president of NBC Universal's news division business unit called the Strategic Business Unit. I didn't have as much fun then. I have so much more fun today having my own company and doing what I want to do. Like Indra Nooyi says, I don't have to deal with quarterly earnings anymore. Thank goodness. Quarterly earnings are like, oh my goodness, it was a nightmare. But now I just get to do, help people and try to make a difference in this world. So the thing I want to leave you with is the thing that I do. People ask me, what does Chen and Associates do? It's very simple. I help CEOs be better leaders and build their business by focusing on two things. Here are the two things I focus on. One, think more strategically. All of you, I just want to say, if you spend time thinking more strategically, you'll be a better leader. And two, develop excellence in communications. That's it. If you do those two things, I think it'll change your career and it'll change your life. And the quotes that I have learned from my mentors, you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you are going. You can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you are going. So put a plan for yourself for 5 or 10 years from now, where you want to be in your life, in your career. Because if you don't have a happy career, you won't have a happy life. You don't have a happy life, you won't have a happy career. Put a plan for yourself where you want to be 5 to 10 years from now. And then the second one is communications is the language of business. It used to be knowledge is power. Now communications is power. Because communications builds relationships, and relationships builds business. Today, it's all about relationship. If you don't have relationships, I don't care how much of a subject matter expert you are, you will not succeed. Communications builds business. So that's a key second one. And the final one, which I think everyone has talked about today, a lot of the speakers talk about, is nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Nobody cares you're an expert until you care for them as a person. That's what I've learned is people won't listen to what you have to say until they trust you. Build trust. Show people you care. Take the time out of your day to ask them about their family, about how their weekend went, and be sincere about it. Don't say, how was your weekend? Oh, good. Oh, by the way, let me tell you about the presentation. They'll know you. It was like a kind of, I just want to ask a question, but I don't want to hear your real answer. And the real way to build relationship, if they ask you how your weekend was, say, it was a bad weekend. I sometimes say, yeah, I had a bad weekend. I want to say, like, oh, sorry to hear it. Now can we talk about the presentation? Or do they say, oh, sorry to hear it. Do you want to spend a few minutes? And I do. And I tell them I'm vulnerable. I tell them that this is what happened. One of my kids, injured himself, or my kid didn't get a good grade, or my kid, yelled at me because he thinks I'm overparenting. And all of a sudden, we developed this personal relationship. And all of a sudden, down the road, we've built this personal bond that we can trust each other and go forward. So with that, I summarize by challenging with 3 action items. And I promise you, if you come back to the next event, right, this year, and you come back and you remember these 3 things, the first 3 people I will also donate to their charity. If you do this, but you have to be truthful to this. I want you to do something for yourself, do something for someone else, and do something for your community. So when you do something for yourself, I'm thinking you should put a 5 or 10-year plan for yourself, for your dream, your life, and your career. And I want you more actionable. In the next 90 days, give an impromptu speech in front of others. An impromptu speech in the next 90 days, because communications is going to make a difference. Impromptu speech can happen anytime. At a dinner party, just give a toast to someone. Okay? In a family over Christmas, give a toast to your family. All right? Go into your school and go in and give a speech about why you think, school time should start earlier, or why there should be more, classes on soft skills. Go ahead and take you out of your comfort zone. I think one of the things that Asian Americans are afraid to do is speak up. Challenge yourself, like Ann says, to do something that you're uncomfortable with. I'm only comfortable now speaking now because it took me 25 years to do this, but I challenge myself. So do something for yourself when it comes to putting a vision and a communication training for yourself by doing that. Then do something for someone else. Like I said, why don't you promote someone or recognize someone in public? Recognize a coworker in public, and it doesn't have to be by giving a big speech. Recognize them over the internet. Tweet out something your coworker did. Tweet out something. Don't be kiss-assing your boss. Don't tweet out something your boss did, okay? Tweet out someone that can't help you, all right? Tweet out something that a colleague, right? Or someone that works for you, all right? Or someone or someone else that you met today, networking, about something fantastic they did. Help a total stranger. It really feels good when you help out a total stranger, and there's nothing you can get back, but you just did them to help them. You know? Do it more than, you see a homeless person on the street, give them $20. Don't give them $1. Give them $20. I want every homeless people to be happy that they met an Asian American today, okay? Give them $20, all right? You can afford it. And one of the best things that you can do is if you have a friend that's sick in the hospital, don't wish them well. Go visit them in the hospital. They will remember you for life for visiting them in the hospital. So if you have a sick friend, take the time out of work. Tell your boss, I got a friend that's sick in the hospital. I need to visit the person. I think that will change your life as well as theirs. And the third thing is do something for your community. Join a nonprofit. Join a nonprofit. Be active. Like someone asked a question. I think it's Tenwa from CBS, my friend from CBS. I still recognize him, even though you didn't mention it, but he was a great reporter, at CBS. But join the media, be active in media. If you can't be active in media, be active in nonprofit. Okay, if you can't be active in nonprofit, join your local politics. I'm on my local board of finance, right? You don't have to be like running for senator. You can be running for your local board of education or town council or board of finance, or you could be in your apartment building, be on your condo board. Be a leader. Take the action and be a leader somewhere and do good. And then finally, like I said, make sure you bring non-Asian Americans into this kind of movement. We're not going to be able to change it if we don't bring others along. It might be uncomfortable, but this is what it takes, to do it. And by doing it, they'll learn more about you, and you'll learn more about them, and you'll build a closer relationship. So I'd like to close, because it's time to have drinks, by having my favorite poem. I've read it a few times before, but I'll read it again one last time. It's called Do It Anyway, right? People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. What you spend years building, someone can destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it was between you and your God. It was never between you and them anyway. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.